Hello, my pack, my tribe. Welcome to Howling After Dark. Got a pretty cool show for you tonight. All about the paranormal news. And we're going to get right into it here in a second, as soon as my page loads. Do-do-do-do. Okay, here we go. Alright. Now, let me pull up my bookmark. Today before work, I actually bookmarked a couple of sites that have some decent information about paranormal goings-on around the world. And let's see. Let me find them real quick. Here we go. This is actually one that I use quite a bit. And I will go ahead and paste this in my chat at ghostwolfradio.com, by the way. So, if you want to be a part of the show, go to ghostwolfradio.com and log into our little chat there, and I'll be able to see your comments, questions, what have you. Alright, so here's the one I quite a bit, actually. It's called Altered Dimensions. Now, they do tend to lean more towards UFO type stuff, but they got good, like, ghostly haunts and things of that nature. Like this one. The headline says, "Why are ghostly barefoot footprints appearing in this small retail store overnight?" And loading. Here's the story. And, ooh, they actually have a picture of it. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, so here's, let's see. Here's the image. We'll try and see if that'll post. Oh, there's the link anyways. Anyways, here's the story. Why are ghostly barefoot footprints appearing in this small retail store overnight? Workers at a small retail store say they are puzzled over the mysterious barefoot footprints that continue to appear on the floors of their store overnight. The footprints appear as black, somewhat greasy prints in varying size, sometimes adult size and other times as small as a tiny child. Typically, the footprints appear overnight, but cashiers have reported hearing footsteps during the day and finding children's footprints behind the register area where nobody but store cashiers can enter. Most of the time, the prints are nothing more than a single print in the middle of the room or a random scattering of prints throughout the store. Other times, however, the prints seem to disappear into the store's walls. Of course, the most likely explanation would seem to be nighttime intruders raiding the store, but owners say nothing has been stolen and CCTV camera footage recorded nobody inside or entering or leaving the store overnight. Wow. That's pretty interesting stuff and pretty conclusive as far as evidence goes. Here's the thing to notice about this story, right? They're not saying that it's a ghost or a group of ghosts. They're not saying it's paranormal at all. The fact of the matter is they don't know what's going on, which lends it a bit more credibility as far as evidence of paranormal goes, because they're not even saying it's paranormal. They don't know what to make of it. And this isn't just, a one-shot thing. It's not a hit it and quit it. This is happening repeatedly, nearly every night. Now, I'm going to do something a bit different. Normally when I read these stories, I just read the story and that's it. And that's fine. But I've been thinking about doing this for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to give my advice, should these people be listening, on how to, if not remedy the situation, at least get more definitive proof. Or a better way of trying to capture something on film other than CCTV cameras. First of all, CCTV cameras in general don't record in infrared or ultraviolet or anything other than the normal vision spectrum that human beings are capable of seeing at. So my advice would be to switch out your CCTV cameras for an infrared security cam and see if that helps. Also, and I realize this actually costs quite a bit more money, unless you can get a hold of a investigative team that happens to have this fancy equipment. Get yourself a FLIR thermal camera. The reason being is because ghosts a lot of the time generate cold spots around themselves, and or hot spots, depending. Either way, it's able to be captured on a thermal camera, and then you can definitively say, well, there's something here. It's not just a fluke thing, and it's not just like reappearing stains. This has thrown off investigators, by the way, for years. There are some stains that just do not go away. You can clean them and they will disappear from the visible spectrum, but they're still there. And over time, as that stain in the whether it be on a floor or in another hard surface, it collects dust and grime and whatever else over a period of time, it makes that stain pattern become visible again. That's what could be happening here, which is why you want to back it up with something more definitive. Okay, so there we go. There was that story. Let's see here. This is from July 14th, so not that long ago, just 10 days ago. Photo from scene of deadly motorcycle accident shows ghostly spirit leaving body. And let me go ahead and grab this picture. This is actually kind of amazing. Now, I know skeptics are going to be like, well, no, that's then blah blah blah, or try and come up with some way of explaining it. But here's the thing. Skeptics are actually, let me rephrase that. Closed-minded people are always going to be that way. They're never going to believe anything that is shown to them. But I'm actually going to post both of these pictures. And I'm actually going to put this in Palace too, believe it or not. Okay, so here's the first one. This is from a distance. This is the original shot. So there's that one that shows it from a distance. This the picture is probably taken from clear on the other side of the freeway there. So there's that one. And then here is the close-up one. As you know, evidently the person that took the photo. In a bit. Let's see. Going back up to the story. Photo from scene of deadly motorcycle accident shows ghostly spirit leaving victim's body. Photo from a motorcycle accident in Stanton, Kentucky is getting a lot of attention from paranormal research this week. The crash occurred on Tuesday, July 12, 2016, around 5:30 p.m. in Powell County, Kentucky. Unfortunately, the motorcyclist was gravely injured and pronounced dead at the hospital. Saul Vasquez witnessed the accident from the opposite lane and snapped a photo of paramedics working to revive the victim. He uploaded the photo to Facebook with this explanation. I took this picture just a few minutes ago from the cab of my truck. It was an accident between Campton and Stanton on the service road just off of the Mountain Parkway. Zoom in and pay attention to the shadow just off the top of the state trooper's hat. All I say is I hope everyone involved is okay. The photo clearly shows a ghostly apparition shaped like a man hovering directly above the victim's body. Many believe the photo captured the motorcycle driver's spirit leaving his body. Researchers say the photo does not appear to have been altered and smudges on glass can be rolled out, since Vasquez rolled down the passenger side window before taking the shot. Even if rolled up, the focal point would have been several hundred feet away. That's freaking amazing. And of course, like I said, the cold-minded sect, I guess you could say, they'll find some way of tearing it apart too, but they fail to realize that even us believers, we do our due diligence. I'm looking at this picture and I see nothing artificial. I see nothing that would tell me that it's been altered in any way. Now, this one I found interesting, and I've actually heard this story before. And I've actually seen this photograph before as well. Uh, the headline says, clearly visible, unexplained ghostly hand rests on girl's shoulder in 1900 Belfast photo. And I'm going to actually post this photo. Okay, so here's the original. And with this one, you'd have to look pretty close to see the hand that they're talking about. And then here's the bone version. So, here's the story. The spooky photograph above was taken in 1900 in Belfast, Northern Ireland. It shows a group of linen mill girls in their work clothes. Bill said right about their waists. One girl, pictured on the second row, far right, appears standoffish from the others, identified as Ellen Donnelly, her granddaughter explained. I don't really believe in ghosts, but there have been a few odd goings-on around this photo. So what is so unusual about the photo? Look at the girl's right shoulder. There's an unidentifiable, disembodied, ghostly hand gripping her shoulder. They had heard about the freakish hand resting on the girl's shoulder. Experts have said the photo is untouched, but have been unable to identify the clearly visible hand like thing resting on her shoulder. It doesn't look like a trick of light nor a ruffle on the shirt or another person's hand. As of now, the surreal hand in the photo remains unexplained. Now, I've actually spent hours looking at that picture. Okay, because I am something of an expert on photo evidence, not just what is evidence, but also debunking it. Over 27 years of experience dealing specifically with photo and video evidence, because that's kind of my area of expertise. I'm the guy that can see them, so, you give me something to take pictures with, I'm going to capture something if there's something to be captured. But I digress. Anyway, so as a matter of course, throughout my years of experience, I have learned to become quite the expert on not only proving but also debunking photographic and video evidence. And I've spent hours looking at this thing. Now the thing is you can clearly see the girl directly behind her on both sides of her, actually. Their arms are crossed, so it is not possible that it is one of their hands. And it does appear to be a hand, or at least some of the fingers on a hand. Now, that's not to say that this is definitively paranormal. It could be somebody was hiding somewhere in the picture, had their hand on her shoulder, I don't know. But what I can say is that the picture has definitely not been faked or altered in any way. What you see is what you get. Now, this one I actually kind of laughed at. Um, a woman's sleep app records mysterious ghostly voice in the middle of the night. Jenny, who lived alone in her second-story apartment, had heard the odd clicking sounds before and was accustomed to having inexplicable midnight noises jar her awake in the middle of the night. In an attempt to help her analyze her sleep patterns and discover the source of the odd sounds, she installed an app on her phone, Sleep as Android, a sleep improvement app available in the Google Play Store. It includes an alarm, soothing sounds, and a sleep talk recorder that records snoring, sleep talk, cover ruffles, coughing, and other nightly sounds. Jenny began using the app on October 1st, 2013, and at first only heard sounds of her coughing, moving, or adjusting the bed covers, but on December 30th of 2013, so this was quite a while ago, the recording revealed something terrifyingly unusual. She noticed recording as she was deleting old tracks and saw curious audio patterns on a track recorded on the night of December 30th, according to Jenny in a post on the popular Reddit forum. In it, you can hear some clicks that start to get louder over the course of the recording. Eventually, you can hear me say, "What are you doing?" And immediately after, there's a deep voice that says nothing. The clicks become very loud at that point, and at the very end of the recording, you hear the same voice say, "I'm dead." Jenny was frightened to say the least. She asked readers for assistance in some mystery. Would love some debunking here. I like creepy stuff, but certainly not in my own home. Yeah, that's pretty much like everybody. It was the second voice, Jenny talking in her sleep. The most obvious theory would be Jenny talking to herself in her sleep. However, this was easily disproved. Jenny voluntarily allowed an investigator to analyze her voice for comparison to the audio recording. She sent the investigator 10 samples of her voice recorded at different volumes and various cadences. The audio analyst concluded that there were two separate voices on the recording, the second voice being that of a man. Later, the analyst reported a more detailed account of his findings. He provided a spectrogram of the recording and noted, "I noticed there's a visible peak in the 990 hertz area of the spectrogram. It's not very loud, maybe because the person was a bit farther away from the mic and the man was speaking rather quietly." The second theory, intruder in the home, possible, but that seems unlikely because if it was like an intruder or a burglar or something, I don't know. I'm not buying it. Oh, they actually have a video of it. Hold on one second, see if I can't get the link. Okay, here's the dang it. Hold on one sec. I messed up. Okay. There's actually a TV. That's like out. Okay, now I agree that is not her voice, but that could be female also because it is kind of a higher pitched voice. It's not like a super deep male voice. Like if I were to say those exact words, nothing, I'm dead, you would be easily, it'd be very easy to tell that it's, a male voice. This one is a little bit higher pitched, so it could be a deeper talking female voice, just saying. But it is definitely not her, so I can tell you that much right now. My suggestion to her, as far as getting something more definitive, would be to get another app called the Spirit Vox or SV1 app, which not only basically turns your phone into a spirit box. It generates white noise so you could audibly hear what they're saying. It also records it. So that would be my suggestion to her if she wanted to get something more concrete, I guess you could say. As for her attitude about, oh, well, I think creepy things, but, just not in my own home, well, I got news for you. The earth is, I mean, we could go back and forth all day, Christians and, the rest of the world arguing about how old the world actually is. But regardless, there have been so many people that have lived and died everywhere on this planet. To think for a second that there is anywhere that can't or isn't inhabited by spirits, by ghosts, you're fooling yourself. The only thing to really do is to become comfortable with it and realize that they're not here to hurt you. Creepy things are only creepy things if that's how you think about it. Personally, I have spirits in my house right now. Right this second, there are spirits here in this house, and I'm actually comforted by it. Because I don't think about it in that negative light. It's something to be afraid of or creeped out about. The fact that I have spirits in this house means that my house is fucking protected. So, just food for thought. And I got a little over 11 minutes left, folks, so probably time for one more story. Let's see. I think I'm actually going to have to go to my other site. Hold on a second. Assuming it'll load anytime soon. Here we go. Now let's see. Yeah, I'm not liking this one either. Dang it. Hold on one sec. I hate it when this happens. Ah. Here we go. Let's see. No. Dang it. Hold on. Turn something a little bit more specific. See if this works. Oh, here we go. Dad records ghost in deserted playground. A man and his 3 kids were left shocked after a swing started moving erratically on its own. Scotty Denton had been taking his children to a playground in Warwick, Rhode Island last month when they discovered that one of the swings there had taken on a life of its own. Despite the almost complete lack of wind and the other swings barely moving at all, the large blue swing in the otherwise deserted playground was rocking erratically back and forth and side to side without any sign of slowing down. We're in the playground and the kids don't want to go anywhere because look at this, said Denton. This is real. Look at this, there's nobody on it, there's no wind. The video, which was originally posted on Facebook, has so far accumulated over 4.5 million views. Could something paranormal be at work, or is there a more rational explanation? You decide. Huh. And how about this? It looks like it's been removed from YouTube. And it has been. Wow. Okay, evidently they proved that it was faked, according to what I'm reading here. That sucks. That would have been a cool story otherwise. Yes, I've actually seen it before too. Actually, okay, I've got a story. Um, I've got 4 minutes left here in part one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell the story, and then I'll be back for part two. There's this place we used to go to all the time called the Mansfield Farm Museum, and in the Mansfield Farm Museum, there's a section of it that's made up like a little house. In fact, it looks like there's a house built inside the farm museum. And what it actually is, it's where they teach people, and primarily children, about fire safety and, how stop, drop, and roll, and how to have an escape plan, etc., etc. And there's a closet in the hallway inside this little house, and the only thing in this closet is there's like a little cart with a coffee maker on it, and next to that there is a rocking chair. And we used to go pretty much every weekend. We would go to this place for a good like a year. We would be there every weekend. And I got to the point where on command I could get that rocking chair to move on its own. Or, to put it more exactly, I would ask the spirit that's there to move the chair, and it would happen, and I would capture it on film. Unfortunately, it didn't have enough power to move it concisely. So even though I caught it on film, it's not like very big pushes. You barely see it move. But it still happens, so that's a win in my book. But yeah, like, even if I were to go back there, it's been a while since I've been there. Even if I went there today, though, I know if I went to where that closet is and I said, hey, could you move that chair for me, it would move. It did it every time without fail. Alright, folks. So, stay tuned. I will be right back with part two of tonight's show. Be right back.